Hi everybody, my name is Rainer. Welcome to my home kitchen. Tonight I'm going to show you a very simple German recipe that you can prepare at home very quickly. It's easy to make and you don't need a lot of ingredients. What you will need is some boneless pork loin, good quality, nice textured meat, a little bit of marbling, some salt, some pepper, maybe some other seasoning like garlic salt, and of course the basics: an egg, some flour, and breadcrumbs. And of course, for the grand finale, when you finish this recipe, you can try it with a number of different kind of mustards, be it Dijon mustard, a grainy mustard, or even a chili mustard. There's no limit to the kinds of mustards you can enjoy with pork schnitzel. First thing you do is go out and buy yourself some, well, I recommend some good quality pork. Nice smooth texture on the meat, not too much fat, but a little bit of marbling. You want to take it home, let it thaw out, dry it, and then we're going to pound this down to make it thin so that we can fry it quickly. And if we fry it quickly, that means it'll be very crispy. And what you need to, if you don't have one already, is one of these hammer kind of gadgets to flatten down the meat. So it's knurled on one end, smooth on the other. I'm going to use the knurled end so that when I season the pork, the seasoning will be able to get into the meat, and then I'll use the flat side to smooth them down. Always, if you're at home and you don't want to make too much noise, don't want to disturb the neighbors, just put a little trick, just put a towel underneath your board and it won't be that much. Alright, it didn't take us very long with this little hammer to flatten out our pork. Now we'll season it with some pepper. You know, the reason I like this dish is because you can prepare it very quickly, and when I mean quickly, you know, you can do it in under 30 minutes if you're really fast. The seasoning here is a seasoning called Montreal seasoning, which you should be able to get at some international shops. I've already seasoned this other side. I'll just add a little bit of salt. And then beforehand, what we're going to do is, in sequence, we're going to dip these pork schnitzels first of all into flour, into a beaten egg, and then into breadcrumbs, and we'll put them over here in a plate and they'll be ready to fry. So you want to, not too much pressure, just wiggle it around, make sure you get lots of flour on there. This is going to make them very dry first, and then the egg so that the breadcrumbs will stick. You have this all set out before. Sometimes it's a little bit of a challenge to remember, you know, what order, but you know, it all makes sense because the egg is going to make the breadcrumbs stick on the end, and you just got to kind of wiggle it around, and there you go. There's one ready to fry. Then we'll do the second one. Okay, now the schnitzel have been coated with the mixture of flour, the beaten egg, and the breadcrumbs, and we're now ready to put them in a hot cooking oil in a big frying pan. Alright, let's talk a little bit about the oil for making a crispy schnitzel. You can use any kind of oil. You can use vegetable oil, you can use corn oil. Make sure that your frying pan is big enough. You only need enough oil to cover the surface of the pan. That's what I've done here, and you want to make sure that the oil is hot. It's going to seal the outside of the schnitzel so that you don't have a soggy schnitzel. Alright, let's put the schnitzel into the pan. Our oil is pretty much perfect. And that is how the oil should bubble up. Means you got the right temperature so that the outside of the schnitzel will seal and you'll have a crispy schnitzel. What I recommend is maybe about 2 minutes per side, and you can just after about a minute or so flip it around and take a peek on the other side to see how much browning is done, and that'll be your judge. But generally speaking, around 2 to 2.5 minutes before you turn them over. That is the recipe for German Schnitzel. Very easy and simple to make, but tremendously tasty. Especially, you can experiment around with these 3 different kind of mustards: a house German mustard, a grainy chili mustard, or a hot Dijon mustard. Try them all. They're a really, really nice complement to pork. Enjoy.